Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Rekka back again from Anime Back When. So today, I want to sit down and I want to do a discussion about the obvious decline of Anitube, here on YouTube. And I just want to chop it up about it. Now, a couple things that sparked me to do this video. First off was over the time, man, I've noticed the decline of Anitube. We've seen that a lot of people are just not uploading videos the way they used to. And there's a point to that. It's a pretty simple point, but I'll explain it when I get there. We've seen things just change. You know what I mean? We've just seen the demand and the enthusiasm towards uploading content, analysis videos. Back at the peak of Anitube, we had these deep analysis 1-hour videos about Shinji from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and videos, analysis videos about a particular part of an arc, not even the whole season or show, like one section of an arc and how it affects the whole show. We had these crazy videos. We had, of course, the original traditional review videos and then those evolved to videos like a lot of you guys watch me for, which is the fancy, chopping up of probably the best scenes and visuals from these shows and reviews and, discussion videos. We've seen it all, and we've seen it come, we've seen it peak, and we've seen it decline. So me coming into Anitube, so my history with Anitube, I never really cared about Anitube, to be honest with you. Like, I used to watch, when I was in high school, I got put onto Anitube, so to speak, through a friend of mine was watching for Neverworld, and he put me on. So these are the days of course, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, but now you have Fairy Tail. I think Magi had just come out. That type of era, that still early-ish 2010s era. And he put me onto For Neverworld, this odd-looking dude with long hair. And I was like, okay. But I was mainly watching, like, video game. I was watching people that was doing video game content. So I used to watch, like, X-Jaws, Call of Duty gameplay, Team Deathmatch, gameplay, or Chris Smooth. He used to do COD 2, but he also used to do 2K. Like, I used to watch that. Like, I never watched or thought about watching Anitube, even though I was watching anime. You know what I mean? And so I got into Anitube, though, in 2015. I was 19 years old, and I was very interested in watching, like, the Golden Era stuff. So, typical fashion, millennial Gen Z fashion, I went and I looked up, top 10 90s anime or whatever the case may be. And this is where people like, I say this all the time, people like, what's his name? Lewis from Anime Every Day came up. Or Bennett the Sage, Bob. Like, this is where I found For Neverworld again, So I was brought into the world of Anitube basically through the Golden Era, people talking about Golden Era stuff. And eventually, later on, I would find people like Mother's Basement, Chibi Reviews, Scamboli, and I kind of was brought into that essay type of videos. Bob was doing them too, analysis videos. There's so many people. I know I'm going to cut the video off and I'm going to remember so many other people that was doing video. Digibro, of course. You know what I mean? So I was brought into that world. And I basically at the peak in the mid-2010s. And so seeing where it is now has definitely brought it up into my brain to talk about what's been going on and, like, my thoughts on the situation. Because I saw, I was put on when it was still kind of new. You know what I mean? The early 2010s, it wasn't a crazy amount of people doing videos. Happy Console Gamer, he talks all the time about he really wanted to or wants to do more anime content, or wanted to at that time, but people just weren't taking to it. You know what I mean? Like, at the time where Anitube was coming up, he was talking, he has old videos from, like, the early 2010s where he was talking about, Ixer and all kind of stuff. Mega Zone 23, and he all of that 80s and 90s stuff. Like, he was there at that time, and he tries to talk about it, but people didn't take to it too well, right? So, I was exposed to it at a time where there just wasn't a high demand for it. And I saw it grow. I came back to it, or found it later when it grew, and now it's declining. Another thing recently that has made me want to do this video is the announcement from Shaves that Anitube Digest is ending. Salute to Shaves. But, this points to something deeper to me. When you see, and I'm gonna get, and I said also there's like a bigger reason for why it's dying, and I'll get to that. But like, when you see something like Anitube Digest by Shaves, when you see Shaves kind of retire it points to something deeper to me, because it says to me that maybe there's not enough content or quality content to even be talking about, to where he even feels compelled that, for him to even feel like Digest is something that is even necessary to still do. Which, that right there, and let's be honest, like, Trash Taste has acknowledged Digest. So if Trash Taste is, and I don't like that podcast, by the way, but if Trash Taste, and by the way, that brings up a few other guys that I remember. So like fucking Joey and Anime Man, and I wasn't around for Mr. Anime. We ain't gonna talk about him. But anyway, Anime Man, and all those guys. So Glass Reflection and them dudes. These are the guys that I'm seeing like at the peak of Anitube. So yeah, when you see something like Digest ending, that tells you that things are changing. You know what I mean? And then another reason also is my man Carol did a live the other day where he was talking about Anitube. He discussed this, where he was walking over at Lakeshore, Toronto. We both live in Toronto. But yeah, so things have changed. And the biggest reason why I say things have changed, guys, here's the thing, as much as we want to hold on to the past and everything, and we, especially people like us, people that are into content, or not content, people that are into things like anime or video games, or like these niche things, especially on this channel where it's like old school anime and stuff like that. If you're watching my channel, chances are you probably have a nostalgia issue. You know what I mean? Now, some people might have it worse than others, but you probably have a very strong attachment to your childhood, or on some level, there's something to do with the past that attracts you. You understand? And so the point I'm making with Anitube dying, us talking about it and us feeling some type of way about it is still us trying to hold on to the past. And the holding on to the past part of it is like, Anitube typically is, or Anitube is, sorry guys, I'm very cloudy headed. I'm just getting over having an allergic reaction. I just got over it, so like I'm still kind of cloudy headed from that. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that Anitube, and what we think of when we say the word Anitube, is something that really was meant to be done during the early years, the childhood years of YouTube, basically. That would be anywhere from like 2007, 8, when people started coming on, and actually when YouTube was more than just some weird little clips. Like when YouTube started to have people coming on and talking into cameras and uploading, from that time, 2007-ish, 8-ish, up until throughout the 2010s. Past that, it's matured. And as we know it, and as we want it to be, it's over. A lot of it has to do with the people that kind of came together to formulate Anitube, the key players, and I consider people like Bob to be part of them. People grow up, people have grown. People were in their late teens and early 20s, some people teenagehood at this time. And now a lot of us are pushing 30 or already past 30, you know what I mean? And people are trying to go on and do different things. You see For Neverworld rebranded his channel now to Tim Anime. He doesn't upload no more. He's not, like, I never thought I'd see For Neverworld you not talking about anime, or not fully immersed into anime. Like, he was, for a while, he was the guy. You know what I mean? And you don't even see this guy no more. You see him trying to start. Well, he's still connected because he has his own comic now. I follow him on IG. He has his own comic now, and he's also doing his music thing. But like, people are moving on. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. And this goes back to Shabes. Like, Shabes is 2 years older than me, which means from what I remember he was 2 years older than me when he brought that up in a stream one time. And that means that he's turning 30 this year if he's not 30 already. You know, and so he was, what, 5 years of Digest? He was like, what, around 25 when Digest started? And I found Digest, and I'll talk on Digest in a second. But yeah, you know what I mean? He was in his mid-20s. A lot of us that are into these niches, you know, these hobbies and stuff, a lot of us tend to be on the ADHD type of scale. I'm not saying Shabes does, but I'm, you know, from my observation, experience, and just connecting with people, I know that we tend to be more on the ADHD side of things, and people with ADHD mature slower, you know, whatever your classification of maturing is. So like, even though he's 25, he probably still felt like a 21-year-old. You know what I mean? So his mindset was still fully immersed into, you know, but now he's probably older now. Now he probably feels older. He's probably starting to feel his mortality. He's probably starting to feel, and listen, I could be wrong. Shabes, if you see this, leave a comment. I could be totally wrong. Like, maybe he just did it for 5 years and he's like, that was it. I still love anime. Well, I know he loves anime, but I still love Anitube the same way, but I just not gonna do it no more. But I feel like it has to do with maturity and just being in different places, bro. You know, you have to think about it. A lot of us at the peak of anime, this content on YouTube, a lot of people were in the phases of living at home with parents, being in your early 20s or your 20s, and having all the time in the world to just lounge around. Maybe you work some little bullshit ass job. Maybe you're in school. You're kind of dragging your feet in life. You're kind of just coasting. And we could sit around and we could watch 12 hours or 12 episodes. We could watch a whole 12, 13 episode series in a day. And, you know, it just felt normal. You can sit around and watch 5 hours of going down the YouTube rabbit hole of this content creator and that one, and you're just young and you just have a certain youthful vigor that just allows you to just sit around and do. But your brain, your interest, it changes as you're getting older, and a lot of people are getting older. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of people have made careers out of this. A lot of people have made YouTube their main job, their main source of income. And even though your body and your brain is getting older, let's not make no mistake about it. This stuff is created for adolescent, mainly boys. Let's make no mistake about it. And adolescence is from like 10 to 19 years old. This is why I look at people kind of funny who are like 25 plus years old, acting like the new power up in Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh my God. This is why I kind of look weird at people like this, because you do know that this shit is created for children. But anyway, that's a different video. But yeah, so make no mistake about it, this stuff is created for children. So at the end of the day, you're getting older and you're still trying to hold on to that past and that child in you to keep doing this content, because part of us still loves it. I still love anime. I still watch. I'm still always going to be immersed into or not immersed, not fully immersed, but still connected and keeping my finger on the pulse of the community and, you know, the shows and everything, and always going back and watching stuff. But like, you know, people are getting older, and that has a lot to do, and a new generation is coming in now, you know, and they're doing something totally different. I saw Carol was talking about the editing and stuff, like short form content now, TikTok shorts, you know what I mean, Instagram reels. So this is the direction that Anitube is going, or anime, you know, talking about anime online. This is the direction that is going in. So we gotta just embrace that, and we gotta love that, you know, love it for what it is, and we gotta get with the times. So, you know, the biggest thing for me with the whole Anitube is dying thing is probably my biggest, I feel like it's just maturing. I think the internet as a whole has matured. in every industry, in every category of life that has anything to do with like with the music industry, with people who do, we've reached a complete maturation phase of technology as a whole, but especially when it comes to this social media stuff. Social media has been a pillar of society for over a decade now. You know what I mean? And so Instagram came out 2010. Instagram became the biggest social media basically around 2012. I was in high school at the time. We're going on 2015 now. So, times are different, and we've seen every kind of video be created. I just said analysis videos. It got so bad. I said it. People were doing videos about a particular part or episode within an arc. So we've seen it all, man. We've seen it all, and so people are getting burned out. Things are changing, and I don't necessarily feel bad about it. Normally, this is something that I would probably feel. Something like this, I would feel like, damn, man. Gone are the days where you would see 4 different Anitubers that you watch come out with like a random little discussion video. You know what I mean? Where they just turn on the camera like how this is why I do these videos, where they just turn on the camera and just start talking. And you might see 4 or 5 guys that you watch all put out videos. And, those days are gone. People are not in college no more where they just have time to sit around and just make videos all day. You know what I mean? People are getting older. People have responsibilities. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And then the new generation are doing something totally different, to where that's why it starts to feel now like it's dying, At the end of the day, and I'm talking about the content that most of us, like I'm talking about edited content, voiceover talking into the camera for your review or for your analysis or whatever. I'm talking about that aspect of Anitube, right? Not talking about reaction videos and all this other shit. So from the perspective of Anitube that I'm talking about, we've seen it all, and like it's a different phase now, and we just gotta sit back and flow with the times. And again, the new generation is doing something totally different. I think it's a very millennial thing. That's what I was trying to say when I brought up why I brought up that particular aspect of Anitube, the analysis vids, reviews and things like that. Writing scripts, and that's a very older Gen Z and millennial thing to do. People that are born in like the mid-90s or earlier thing to do, And the younger generation just isn't on it like that. They're just not, that's just not what they're caring about. So that's why it's starting to feel like it's dying, And it's okay, let it die. Let it die, and something new might be born, And a lot of you might not even feel like it's dying. People are still making videos. There's still tons of videos being made. So also podcasting has kind of changed, because you have to understand something also, like I said, like every community, every hobby or world is changing, like because of this technology shit. So nowadays, a lot of kids don't even really want to be the next big rapper or singer or producer no more. A lot of the young dudes want to be Kai Cenat. They want to be the next streamer or whatever. So same thing with this Anitube thing. A lot of the youngsters that's coming up, they're not necessarily looking up to Mother's Basement, and wanting to do what he's doing. They might be looking up to their favorite TikToker who does videos, who does little short 1-minute videos on TikTok. So, I don't really want to drag this on too long, but that's kind of my thoughts on, what happened with Anitube, what's happening with Anitube. And I feel like, we don't need to really worry about it too much. But yeah, I can acknowledge and say that it does feel a lot different. But the reason why it's feeling different, though, is because a lot of you guys are getting older. A lot of you guys, you're not 20 years old no more. You're not a teenager or early 20s. You're not an adolescent no more. And so being a full-grown man or woman, you're just going to perceive these things differently. It's just not going to be the same. You know what I mean? And things are changing. So I'm going to leave it there. I want you guys to talk to me in the comment section below and let me know what your thoughts are on the decline of Anitube. What do you think about, you know, I know most of you guys know Shaves, watch Shaves. What do you guys think about him ending, you know, Digest? Do you think he should continue it on? Yeah, like what do you think? So anyway, like the video, comment down below what you guys want to see next. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Anime back when.